All right, we are live back on the Andre Duke Show with Carter Smith. I got Richie in today on this fine Thursday, January 30th. How you doing today, Rich?
Great, Duke. It feels like January 80th. But I'm doing great, man. It's Friday, Friday Eve. I'm ready for the weekend, man. How about you?
Oh yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll. Nothing too crazy going on. It's been a interesting day in sports to say the least.
Yeah, it
Getting
has.
getting that pulled up. With everything going on, and it's a rough deal. Real quick for that thing that happened in Washington D.C. Wow, that was totally
Yeah.
crazy. Feel
Totally
bad
crazy.
for everybody that is involved in that. That is a tough way to end the week. Hopefully, those people can work through that. But as we get rolling here, the rumors about Chris Henry Jr. have been swirling. I know there was some Oregon talk. Oregon is. I was seeing reports from On3 that their roster is going to be about 40 million this year. I don't know how true that is.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
Damn. For a college roster?
that is a unbelievable thing. And then here's the tweet. Producer Ed throws it up. The Michigan crew thought that they were sniffing around on that, and that's a pretty interesting tweet there. So I
Yeah,
think,
I would say I think all signs point to he's going to Columbus. He's going to get developed in Columbus by Heartline. Possibly could be the next best Buckeye whiteout. Um, I think people are just throwing shit to the wall just to see what'll stick, see if it can gain any headway and traction and what have you. I don't think he's. I think he's still coming to Ohio State, but that's just me being an Ohio State fan. I mean, I don't really think he would entertain going up there.
I think the there's a lot of smoke when it comes to this recruiting stuff, and also we got the TikTok up tonight. There's a lot of interesting variables that I think go into this Chris Henry thing. Just tweeting that picture out. I mean, I think we should just let him live, as the Torg would say. Let him live. So I don't foresee anything changing with Chris Henry Jr. Um, you know, so I think we can just put that stuff to bed. And then one of the other interesting things out there, Bill Belichick comes into North Carolina, new sheriff in town, comes in and has ripped out the turf already.
It's a start. Maybe it's a start that'll kind of have a domino effect in college football, where teams who had grass went to turf, go back to grass. What do you
I
think?
I mean, if you look at most of the schools in the SEC, Texas plays on turf. I think Missouri plays on turf. Um, I think some of the Vanderbilt is got a turf field. Me personally, I think they should just go back to natural grass, Rich. To be
I
honest,
agree with you, and especially since that turf, since it's in North Carolina, we know how hot and how sticky it can get down there in North Carolina. That turf has to be 150 degrees if they're practicing on that field. Maybe 160 plus, because it's like basically practicing on blacktop.
oh, no doubt, no doubt. I think that turf is extremely warm. New England, they switched from grass to turf whenever they moved into Gillette. But wasn't there a period of time Gillette was grass and then they went to the turf?
Yeah, I think it was. I just don't remember when. Maybe the late 90s. Because
Yeah,
that type of turf didn't come out to the late 90s.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I think it's a interesting endeavor that we got going there with the whole turf deal. I'm not shocked. I think a lot of the ACC schools play on the
Grass.
grass side of things. Now the schools that are way up north, I mean, I get it. Syracuse has got the
Carrier Dome.
yeah, they got the Carrier Dome. I think BC's turf. Um, Pitt is natural grass. West Virginia's turf. So the ACC's got a mix and match, but the SEC, the only real major hitters that have turf in that is Missouri and Texas. I mean, Ohio State, Michigan, and Notre Dame all have turf, but if it was up to me, I think Notre Dame needs to go back to grass. I think that is something that they need to do. I think Ohio State needs to go back to grass. I mean, it's 2024, people. If you can't figure out how to grow grass, maybe you should get out of the football business. That's just my opinion.
And maybe study something else if you're trying to be a horticulturist.
Yes, and also we got the TikTok up, Rich. So this next topic, let's be easy on it. Justin Tucker is in some hot water tonight. I don't know the full extent and everything that I think about the Tucker thing is I think that we should let that play out before pass judgment.
Yep, let the facts play out. Let him have his day in court if need be. Anybody can make an allegation and see try and extort money out of somebody. So I'll believe it when something happens, when they do the court proceedings, when they meet. Then I'll make my decision.
The only thing I'll say on the Tucker thing is that it seems like this is becoming a trend, and it's awfully peculiar that there's multiple people involved in this. I don't know to what extent this is going to bring up what is Carter talking about? Oh, yeah, I'm not reading that out loud. I'll put that up for the viewers to watch or to see, but that is just I mean, that should be his next stop, Cleveland, with Deshaun Watson.
Now, technically, these are the old Browns. So you got the old Browns, you got the new Browns.
Well, I mean, when it comes down to it, I think that I don't know. We've seen it both ways. Zach Smith on Minnesota Sports has told a story before where there was a person in the Cleveland area trying to solicit Ohio State players for this same exact thing. It was the masseuse soliciting these things. So I think that where we're at right now, I think we just got to let the facts play out. You gotta let the
experts do their job.
Yeah, before somebody goes off on the way other end, and you don't want a Duke lacrosse thing happening.
Or like the Bills punter, Ariza. Was it Ariza?
Yeah.
Riza?
Yeah. So
and Trevor Bauer. I mean, look what happened to Trevor Bauer, man.
Yeah. So that's just one of the things that play into this, and then we'll get rolling into Pat Riley. Do you know what makes this Pat Riley thing very interesting? Pat Riley owns the trademark to three-peat in like 6 different ways.
Really?
Yes,
That's
Pat
something
Riley.
I learned.
He trademarked it back when he was the Lakers coach. That's how far back it's gone for Pat Riley to own that.
Damn. That is a long time.
Yeah. He owns a half a dozen trademarks. Yeah, for you guys on TikTok, Pat Riley owns the trademarks to three-peat. He owns it 6 different ways. So if you put it on a piece of merch, you're pretty much you got to pay Pat Riley to use it. So Kansas City, good luck. I wish you the best, but you're going to have to pay old man Pat Riley. That's pretty much where this sits. And I mean, it's smart on his part.
Oh, genius.
So
I wonder if Chicago had to pay him when they got their first three-peat and their second three-peat.
Yes, because there's pictures of Jordan and Shaq and all those other players wearing that gear. I'm sure the Lakers had to break him off something, had to write him a check for something. That's pretty much where I think that stands. I can't imagine he's going to let him use it for free. I don't foresee that happen. I don't think you trademark something for
just let no fee.
Yeah. So moving on, we got the Colton Edwards. He does I'm assuming he's like a scout and does the whole mock draft thing. He has Will Howard as QB1 in the NFL draft, above Shedeur Sanders and above Cam Ward. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, he had Jane Daniels number 1 last year as QB1, and look how Jane Daniels played as a rookie versus the number 1 overall pick with Caleb Williams. Have you ever seen those NFL draft redos, like teams drafting X, Y, and Z player? Like that's gonna happen. Like they're gonna have something on NFL.com. They're gonna have the Bears redo on their draft, taking Jane Daniels at 1. So if he was right with Jane Daniels last year, maybe he's right with Will Howard this year, being QB1. I mean, Will Howard had an impressive playoff run this year with Ohio State. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's QB1 this year.
Yeah, one of the things that I find very interesting on the Will Howard side of it, there's nothing he does like a Shedeur Sanders or like a Cam Ward. Like, he doesn't have the overpowering arm talent. I think, one of the big things and one of the reasons why I'm high on Shedeur Sanders is because he doesn't turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm. And Will Howard's known for having at least 1 pick every other game.
Well, if you look at it this way, Quinn Ewers had threw a pick in every playoff game. Threw one against Clemson, Arizona State, and Ohio State. So, in Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck were together in that, and I think it's going to be a tale of two things. Quinn Ewers obviously says he's going to the draft, but the weird thing is I haven't seen him working out anywhere, because normally whenever you have guys getting ready for the draft or even the off season, they post some type of clips, and there may be some out there, but I just haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either, but now that you mention it, I have. Yeah, and you're right. Like, this time of year, they're starting to get ready for the combine, Duke, and you'll see him trying to get warmed up, trying in the frame of mindset of how the combine's going to operate. So that's a big mystery. Maybe he changes. I think he's going to change his mind last minute, Duke. He's going to go somewhere. Just don't know where, though.
Well, Miami? I mean, it depends, because if some people are having Will Howard that high on their draft board, there's not that many teams at the top of the draft that really need a quarterback. I mean, I don't have the draft order in front of me, but
hold on, let me get it. Hold on one sec.
And we'll just run down that thing real quick. But I can't because I'm trying to think. The Titans.
Titans at 1.
They need
at 1. They
need a quarterback.
Browns at 2.
I would argue and say the Browns need a quarterback.
Giants at 3.
Need a quarterback.
Patriots at 4.
That team does not need a quarterback because I think Drake May shown flashes this year.
Jags at 5.
Mr. Duval says,
Oh.
dude, it's cringy. I can't not. Like he's setting you guys back. I'm just gonna keep it at that. He's setting you guys back on the cool factor, like big time.
Yeah, because some people were Buccaneer Twitterverse was wanting Bulls fired, and they were wanting him to get hired to take over as head coach. I think they might have dodged a bullet.
Okay, hear me out on this.
Yeah.
And Carter can put it in the chat because I know he's watching. But the last time the Bears won a playoff game was like 13 years ago. You know who their head coach was?
Lovie Smith.
And they haven't smelled it since. Not even close. I mean, they did with Nagy, but they had the double doink with Cody Parkley. Not that I'm trying to pile on kickers, but it's one of those things that I feel like sometimes when you remove a head coach, it sets ripple effects off throughout the franchise. I mean, Tampa Bay, whenever they moved on from Gruden, it took them a long time to get the pieces put back together.
It took them a long time when Gruden got fired in, what year was that? 08. So that was 2008 they fired him. They promoted Raheem Morris to head coach because he was defensive coordinator. He lasted 3 years. Fired him, brought Schiano in. Schiano was there for 2 years. Fired his ass.
Oh,
then they
sorry. Here it is. January 16th, 2011, the last playoff win for the Bears. And they fired Lovey, and he went 10-6. It was against Seattle.
Was that the year when they played Seattle, or was that John Fox? I think John Fox was coaching them.
No, it was Lovey.
No, it was Lovey?
Because it was Cutler's first or second year from when they traded with Jay, and everybody in Chicago was complaining and said the offense was horrendous. And actually on the Coach JB show, Urlacher was on, and he told that story that they called a team meeting after the playoff game. What did Carter throw in there? Oh, they beat
the Seahawks.
Yeah. So what happened was they called a team meeting, and Urlacher told them, and this is, you want to go back and look at the Coach JB show, you can if you want to fact check it, but Urlacher told the story. They walk into the team meeting like, hey, after the playoff loss, they're getting ready to do exit meetings, and Lovey stands up there and says, I've just been let go as the head coach, and Lance Briggs got up and threw the desk at the wall.
Yeah.
And then I think Urlacher tried to come back and play one more year, and he got hurt, and that was the end of it.
He's done now. Because he got enshrined in 17, so yeah, that makes sense. That was
because you got to be removed 5 years.
5 years, yep.
So yeah, I think that's one thing. That's one thing that we got rolling. And I just think that I just think it's messed up that some of these coaches get short leashes on certain types of things. I don't know if it's going to be fair to Todd Bowles.
I don't mind Todd Bowles. They've won 3 divisions since he took over for Arians.
But okay. But the two NFC and AFC South winners have the least amount of continuity amongst head coaches, in my opinion. I know we're going off on this NFL tangent, but Jacksonville, there's been no continuity. They although before Khan bought the franchise, Jacksonville was at least respectable with Jack Del Rio. Jack Del Rio put good teams together.
They did. David Garrard at quarterback. They were very good. They were always in the playoffs.
Yep. Jacksonville was always pushing for the playoffs. They couldn't quite get over that hump to win as many games as the Colts because Jacksonville was built to beat Indianapolis. Then you have Houston. Houston was into the abyss. Bill O'Brien kind of brought them back, and then they got spun off into the shadow realm whenever he got trade happy because he wanted to be the general manager, and the whole D-Hop thing just spiraled out of control.
Went south real quick. No pun intended.
Yeah, and then Tennessee, ever since they got rid of
Jeff Fisher.
Jeff Fisher, it was tough sledding for him. They had Vrabel. He was there the longest. He was a mainstay.
Vrabel was awesome. Vrabel was awesome down there.
I think he'll turn the Patriots around. And but you look at the NFC South. Tampa Bay's had the same continuity issues. Haven't been able to find a quarterback since Gruden left. The Saints kind of basically fell apart after they basically fell apart after Sean Payton left, and that's just one of those things that you got rolling. But it's I don't know, the Saints are tough. Richie will be back in a minute. What's up, people on TikTok? But ever since Drew Brees left, the Saints have not been able to find a quarterback or had a mainstay at coach. Dennis Allen was so. So I think that at some point the Saints have got to figure it out. The Kellen Moore thing, is that going to work out? I would have personally went with McCarthy if it was me, but it's just one of those things that you can't. Rome wasn't built in a day, and the NFL franchises have they have pushed and pushed so hard about winning now and winning so often. I mean, look at Andy Reid when he was up at Philadelphia. They were in the NFC Championship game, and he didn't have near the roster that Sirianni's got. And Sirianni has no Super Bowl. He's been to the Super Bowl. It's going to be his second one. Let's see if he can get over that hump, and hopefully he doesn't turn into a Sam Weish or a Marv Levy, to where you get there and you just don't have it. I mean, you got to shout out the Eagles for having some of the best player personnel people in the NFL. I just don't know how you can structurally put that together. That's just one of the things that we have rolling here, and so that's something to look at. And then I'll pose this question for the chat. Well, anyway, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe, bro, or hit that like and subscribe button, and help us grow the show. We've had tremendous growth, and if you're over there on TikTok, you guys watching on TikTok, come on over to the Andre Duke Show on YouTube and hit the like and subscribe button, and help us out and help us grow this thing. That's one of the main things that we're trying to do here. Predominantly, we talk college football, but we've spun off into the NFL realm for a minute, and sticking to the NFL because that's where all the news is at, really. There's nothing really too crazy going on in college football, just a bunch of interviews, just nothing concrete or crazy. So one of the things that I would like to ask the people in the chat, chime in. Man, what's up, Eamon? Good to see you're back, man. One of the things that I would like to ask the chat and on TikTok, you guys can answer this one too. Cam Newton would rather win an MVP than a Super Bowl. I find that very, very intriguing in many ways on the Cam Newton front. I'm taking Yeah, the quote here is I'm taking my individual success because I did my job. Well, it's I'm not going to I hate to criticize Cam too much on this. Am I shocked that Cam would say this? No. Um, I feel like he was not given the most amount of tools on offense. He was the whole offense in Carolina. So I think that, you know, somebody who never won one, do I think Carolina and that whole thing, the way it ended, do I think they'll ever bring Cam back? I doubt it at this point. I think that relationship is beyond repair. Um, it's one of those things that I don't think that Carolina and Cam will put it back together, and I don't think it's bitter on Cam's part. David Tepper is a meddler. He is a mini Jerry Jones. He's doing nothing but meddling in said team. So I think that's kind of where it's at this point when it comes to the Cam Newton stuff. I think that it's a tough part, you know. Um, I think that Cam gave everything he could to the Panthers, except the the one play in the Super Bowl is going to be held against him forever. Um, I don't think Cam has ever came out and fully explained that whole play. It's one of those things that it's a gray area. I'm not giving him a pass for it, but he was the MVP of that year. Carolina couldn't beat Peyton Manning with a noodle arm. Uh, oh wow, that's tough. That's a tough comment there, Sid. I don't think I'm throwing that one up. Uh, Marino would rather have a ring. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, Dan Marino's top 3 to ever do it. So I would say between Tom Brady, Dan Marino, and probably Troy Aikman. I know that's going to be controversial because Aikman didn't have the longevity, but the way he ran that offense, they didn't need to throw the ball 50 times a game, in my opinion. Montana, Brady, Marino. I mean, you can flip flop them. Montana had better teams, and I mean, Jimmy Johnson, Hall of Fame coach. He's one of only 2 guys to do it as far as win a national championship and win a Super Bowl. Although Carter might have to fact check me on this one, but I believe Paul Brown. Paul Brown, I believe, won a national championship and he won an NFL championship before the merger. So I don't know if people really count that, but that is a interesting stat there because Pete Carroll and Jimmy Johnson are the only 2 to win a Super Bowl and a national championship. Carter might be able to prove me wrong on that one, but I'm not sure. So, yeah, I think the Cam Newton thing is very, very interesting to me. But moving on, since we're talking about the NFL, we'll round it out with this. Now I'll save it for after the break. So, what we got here? We got an ad coming up for you. This is something that we're promoting and that we've made the switch to. So here it is, right before the break here. Paul Brown has 7 state champion. Let me see if I'm reading that right. Paul Brown has 7 high school state championship, 4 high school national championships, 1 college national championship, and 7 NFL titles. So I would say Paul Brown is probably probably one of, you could argue, the best that has ever done it. I mean, you could even say he is I don't know, number 1 maybe behind Lombardi. I think Paul Brown was the standard. So, but go ahead, Carter, and get the ad rolling.
What's up, guys? If you have been watching the show for a while, you know, if you're like me, that you love a good nicotine pouch. So that's why we're super excited to offer our first ever promotion here on the show. ALP pouches, ALP pouches, the new standard in nicotine pouches. A better time with ALP pouches. A better time isn't just a tagline, it's a promise. We love nicotine pouches, and we're here to share that love. Better products, better experiences, and a genuine commitment to a better world. That's why a portion of every sale goes to real causes, not political players. Simple, honest, and yes, better. Best part about ALP pouches is you get more pouches in every tin. That's right, you get 20 pouches per tin as opposed to the regular 15. Also, tins come in 3 different strengths from 3, 6, and 9 milligrams, so you can pick your strength. And amazing flavors. All the pouches come with enhanced moisture, so no more dry pouches chafing your lips or giving you cuts and scratches on your inner lips. They come in all sorts of great flavors, all your typical flavors, or try my favorite, the refreshing chill or the tropical fruit in the 9 milligram. ALP isn't just better, ALP is the new standard. Created by real users, not suits in a boardroom, we've made the product they never could. So go over to alppouch.com/Duke Show. That's ALPPOUCH.com/Duke Show to get 10% off your first purchase of America's newest nicotine pouch standard.
That's our partner that we got rolling here. Use that promo code to get 10% off your first order, like Carter says. So that is where we're at. Rich isn't back yet, but you know, that's one thing that we're trying to do, and that's what we're promoting over here. But since after that ad break, we got Ken Dorsey at the Dallas Cowboys. What does everybody feel about Ken Dorsey at the Dallas Cowboys? Let me click back up after the ad read. Real quick, what Eamon had to say. Marino with Mahomes treatment, 7,000 yards a season. I don't disagree with that because back in the day, Rich is back. Back in the day when it comes to the Marino Mahomes treatment, I mean, you couldn't even touch the wide receivers at that juncture in today's game. But back then, them guys were getting mugged big time. So I think that would change the game totally. You put, I think, what was it, the Marx brothers with Marino, Rich?
Marx Brothers.
I think
what years are we talking? The 80s or the early 90s?
Yeah, 80s Dolphins receivers. I thought it was the Marx brothers or something of that sort, but Marino put up big numbers even back then with them.
He had big numbers his rookie year. I think he threw for 44 touchdowns or some crazy high number as a rookie in 83.
I don't know. I thought it was maybe 29 or 30, somewhere in there. Because I think CJ Stroud broke the record with like 33. Might have to fact check on that. But what are your thoughts on Ken Dorsey being the offensive or a candidate for offensive coordinator at Dallas?
They're just They're putting together a coaching clown house is what they're putting together.
I don't know if it's that.
Ken Dorsey.
I don't know. Brian Schottenheimer could come out and be the best head coach in the world. It's hard to argue. Hard to argue the Ken Dorsey thing because he's kind of been it's been rough for him in the NFL.
It really has for him. I think that's a second stint in Cleveland.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think who's the Browns offensive coordinator? Oh yeah, Tommy Reese. Going to be, but
dog cussing Joe Flacco probably.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if the Browns are going to make a move to get back to Flacco, but I don't know where the Dorsey thing is going to pan out. Although I think it's a good hire. Something that's a side note: Steve Wilks is the New York Jets' new offensive or defensive coordinator. I cannot believe this goes to show you how dumb the Panthers are. Steve Wilks had that team turned around. They almost made the playoffs. He cleaned house. He got rid of what was that dude's name? Was that Temple with Rule? I can see him. He had the Wicks because he was with Miami and he was with a couple other. I think he might have been with Arizona. And when Steve Wilks got rid of him, they were like, "Oh no, you can't get rid of him. He's blah 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 blah."
His name escapes me right now. I can't think who you're talking about.
Robbie, I think it might have been Robbie Williams or something like that, but he changed his name to Chosen. But yeah, he ended up, in my opinion, ended up turning out to be a bust. So
I did see this. The Saints hired Kellen Moore as their head coach.
Yeah, I did see that. I cannot believe they did. McCarthy's not going to coach this year, which is really, really wild. But I just can't fathom why you wouldn't hire Mike McCarthy. And I mean, he's a proven coach. I mean, the Saints are. I think they might be picking number 1
next year.
Yeah,
pick an arch.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the Manning family is going to let that happen. The last time a Manning went to New Orleans, we'd seen that.
Yeah. But Archie, he was on crap teams though. I mean, he wasn't bad for that time period.
Well, I mean, he was the offense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and so I think that's pretty much where we're at on that. I don't know. McCarthy is like hiring. Hold on. McCarthy is like hiring Del Rio or Jeff Fisher. You win 8-9 ±2. Go for it. I mean, but see, that's the problem in the NFL because if you play middle, you stay middle. You draft middle. Unless you're good at drafting, key pieces. I mean, the Steelers have done it for a long time. And also interesting, Colorado State is bringing in Kevin Colbert to help Jay Norvell.
Kevin Colbert, the wide receiver?
No, Kevin Colbert, the Steelers' old GM. He was the Steelers GM for 22 years, and they're bringing him in. I don't quite get it, but it's very, very interesting to me. They said that they're going to set up like a front office and do a whole bunch of different things with Colbert being there, but I don't know. The guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, he would be a consultant to the Colorado State University football program.
Yeah.
He's slated to join the player personnel department in the newly formed front office, just like you said.
So yeah, and I guess we'll keep it moving in a groove and do one last reset here for everybody that's watching on Twitter. Come on over to YouTube and hit that like and subscribe button and help us grow this show. So, and check out the pouches, out pouches. So, and use the promo code. Carter's got got 2 Alps in right now. So, yeah. On the Notre Dame side of things, we kind of stalled this out a little bit, but on the Notre Dame side of things, it says James Blanchard is set to become the next GM at Notre Dame. Any concern on that, Rich?
James Blanchard. Who's this guy?
He's doing the same thing at Texas Tech right now, but the problem you have at Texas Tech is that they have no resources. That's the problem.
Texas Tech is. When was the last time Texas Tech was good though? When they had Michael Crabtree.
Yeah, before they fired Leach, and then it all went downhill.
Yeah, it just went completely south.
Yeah, it was a rough stint after they got rid of Leach. I feel like anyway. After they got rid of Leach, it just went way downhill, and they haven't been able to get it back, and then it's been rough down there, and I think West Texas is a tough place to recruit, especially Lubbock, because there's nothing out there.
Yeah, just oil fields.
It's nothing like trying to sell Dallas at SMU, and SMU raising all that money. Like, what did they raise? That $150 million in 6 months. So I mean, if you look at the trend in college football, the way the market's rolling, it's pretty much.
I think everybody's going to start getting that GM type model. Dude,
yeah, it's one of those things that it's tough, and the naming brings up a good point here. Nothing to sell in South Bend, nothing in South Bend either, but they do just fine. Well, see, the difference between Lubbock, Texas, and oh wow, Mishawaka is what sold me, not no Notre Dame recruit ever. Yeah, that's funny, especially being up there multiple times. The big thing is that I think your big draw with like Texas Tech and stuff like that is, I mean, it still gets cold down there. I don't know. But see, Notre Dame has restocked the coffers on the NIL front with Raleigh coming in. You have Riley Leonard coming off the books, Benjamin Morris coming off the books. So some guys are going to get raises. Jack Kaiser coming off the books, but Notre Dame was smart with the way they spent their money. And I think that it comes down to why they lost so many guys. A couple of offensive linemen in the portal was because the guys coming back that are going to be healthy. I think the 2 deep Spindler's probably not going to crack the starting lineup at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Good on Rocco. He did everything he could. The Pat Coughlin thing, I'm not 100% sure what's going on with that. This is what Carter's got to say. Blanchard is regarded as the best young talent evaluator in the country. He would be a massive steal for Notre Dame. Well, I'm hoping because Notre Dame needs to get somebody that's permanent. And, one of their player personnel people dipped out before the season, I think in the springtime, and went to Illinois with Big Bert.
Big Bert.
So if Carter's sold on him, he must be pretty good. I'd have to dig into a little more his background, see where he's been.
Carter's got fan blinders on. Let's be real.
That's and some of the notes I have here. It's going to be a multi-year deal, making him the highest paid GM in the country. So it's going to be around like $1 million, $1.5 million. Oh wow! So yeah, them guys are going off in the chat. I think that no, don't do it, Rich. Don't listen to Carter. And apparently, this is the second time Marcus Freeman has tried to steal Blanchard from Texas Tech, and so yeah, he's going to have to make him an offer he can't refuse. So I think that's something that's playing into this. The money's going to be the big thing with the GM title and tag now. I think that's the best course of action that they've got, and so it's multi-year deal and going to have to pay him a boatload. I know Alabama's paying their GM $1 million.
I wonder what Pantoni's is. I mean, they just got to give him that official title.
I would say that Ohio State won't, but they'll give Pantoni a raise. But I don't know. It seems like at Ohio State, Bjork's changing a bunch of stuff, and it's only for the better. So hopefully, because I think they need to keep Pantoni there.
They definitely, because he's brought in so much talent from the time Urban got there. And the picture with Joey Bosa, Zeke, Eli Apple, that's neither here nor there. Michael Thomas. I mean that was a hell of a snag. Just evaluating that talent.
I mean,
they need to get rid of what's his name from compliance.
Oh, what's that guy's name? Carter, what's his name? I would say, but I think Jerry Emick needs to go first.
Why's he got to go?
Did you not watch J.J. Smith in the playoffs and he didn't get any Heisman votes?
Oh, any Heisman votes. Yeah.
Will Howard, nothing for the Heisman. Marv won the Biletnikoff by 1 vote. Like, Jerry Emick has been horrendous.
Yeah, I mean, that's almost criminal when that kid's the best, freshman wideout in the nation. He doesn't even get any consideration.
Well, it's because they don't promote the guys.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying now. Yeah.
Yeah, I just
like he just got there. You want to fire him already? What's his name?
Yeah. So that's where that's at, and then Notre Dame on another recruiting front. They got the where's his name? Tyler Morella. I don't know if you're looking at the notes or not. If did I pronounce that? Merrill.
Tyler Merrill commits to ND. Yeah.
Yeah, 2026 over Bama, Penn State, and others. So I'm assuming he's probably had an Ohio State offer. I think it's going to be very interesting to see where the Justin Fry saga takes Ohio State. That is Eamon, it's Jerry Emick. He doesn't believe in promoting the guys. I'm telling you. I mean, you can go from the only thing he cares about is hanging out with the beat guys. That is per Mr. Kirk Barton. And I think you would know because Kirk was on the beat for a while. So, but I mean, that's just like whenever Sonny Styles did an interview with Chris Drew and half the Buckeye media that doesn't like Menace freaked out. So, but yeah, all you had to do is like whenever they were promoting Travis Hunter, some of the people that vote for the Heisman were getting like Genty. Like when Genty was running or was in it for Boise State, they had like a 3-page whole like booklet telling you all about him, sending it to Heisman voters. I mean, Jerry Emick and the marketing department can't do that. But then again, there's a lot of things that need to change at Ohio State, like, some of the stuff like with what Gene Smith implemented. Because I guarantee if he was AD, they wouldn't have played a home playoff game. It would have been in Indy. I guarantee you it would have been.
Oh, definitely.
Or it would have been in a dome somewhere. So because he already flat out said before he retired, he's like, yeah, I don't think Ohio Stadium is ready. And did you notice? That in the celebration thing, I watched a little bit of it. Bjork mentioned Gene Smith, and I don't think anybody else did. So
I'd have to watch it again.
Yeah, I think Bjork's the only one. What is the first? Oh, whoa! Yikes! That's rough.
That is. Oof.
I didn't mean to put that one up there, but
it's like Michael Scott.
Yeah, it's.
Did you see that pic? Did you see that picture of him wearing that Ohio State hat? Sucks.
I don't think that's real. I don't think Jim would do that.
Real.
You think it's real?
It looks real. It's
Where did you get it?
Somewhere on Twitter. So it's probably fake.
I'm gonna say it's fake.
I should community notes it. See what
Carter says confirmed fake, not real. But I'm sure there's some group chat somewhere is completely melting down.
Dude, you know they are. Fuck him, like whatever, man. Hope he sucks at.
Yeah.
I know what group chat you're talking about.
So, and then also Notre Dame finishes with the number 12 recruiting class. I don't think that's bad compared to what Texas and all the other, you're going up against, Oregon paying $40 million.
Dude, that's $40 million. That's like.
It's double what Ohio State paid.
Yeah, and I mean, people want to talk shit about Ohio State saying they paid $20 million, bought not earned. Well, yeah, Ohio State paid guys to come back.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting endeavor. We'll touch on this. Really excited to see where the Michigan investigation goes. Yeah, I don't know on that front. I think there's a lot of things that were alleged rumor that were in the leak of what's in the NOA. And I think that when it comes down to it, I think that pretty much the whole staff knew what was going on. And I want to know how complicit they were is the main thing. Or because I wouldn't be shocked. This is something I was thinking about. I would not be shocked if they didn't find out until last year in the middle of the season. That's what I was kind of wondering about. And everybody had a meltdown about it, and Harbaugh probably didn't know what to do.
Yeah. I think they're just going to get a slap on the wrist, lose a couple roster spots, and be done. Pay like a $500 million fine or something.
I think Penn State when they had all their issues, I think Penn State paid $50 million. I could see Michigan paying 75 to 100. And you vacate all the wins. See, this is what's going to be the catch. Because I'm going to assume the NCAA wants everything vacated, right?
You think even the Natty?
Yes, the NCAA wants to take it all. Here's what I think will happen. Because the NCAA is not going to want to fight this for years in court. I think they'll go to mediation or a negotiated settlement, and they will have vacation of 21 in the Big Ten title, 22 and the Big Ten title, all the way up until Stallions was put on leave or he wasn't around the team, vacated to there. They'll keep that Big Ten title and they'll keep the Natty in those 7 wins. But they're going to have to pay a $100 million fine. That's what I think realistically could possibly happen, and I think Sharon Moore's out. I would say that Tony Alford, because I think
Alford is the head coach,
the interim head coach.
Yeah, I meant interim. Yeah. Wow, that'll be if that happens. It'll be interesting come November 29th, Duke.
Oh yeah, and then Carter chimes in and says, "You can't vacate half the season and keep the postseason wins." Well,
says who?
I mean, it's the NCAA, and they can kind of do whatever they want.
I mean, they are the non-caring assholes of America.
So I think that's one thing that they can do. I don't see why they can't. I don't think it's got to be an all or nothing deal.
Yeah.
I don't see why it would be an all or nothing deal, but
do you think they'll get like a playoff ban too?
I mean, I agree with you, Eamon, that this is. I'll answer Eamon first. I 100% agree with you. Here's my thing. Everything that the Ohio State players did in Tattoo-gate is legal now. The issue is Tressel lied to protect somebody. And I don't necessarily blame Jim Tressel 100% for that.
Right.
I think Tress he was put in a bad spot.
Yeah, it was a catch-22 for him.
Because it was either see, here's the thing. Vacate 20 scholarships. With NIL, it doesn't matter.
It don't matter.
The NIL doesn't matter, and they're going to get rev share, and you can't take that. I don't think you're going to be able to take the rev share. That's the only thing I can say but I think the rev share is going to get shot down as soon as it gets passed, if it even gets through the House.
Right.
Because you can't cap something, and I know I sound like a broken record when I talk about this, but you cannot cap something that hasn't been negotiated with said players. You can't do that and say you only get this much of the revenue when the TV contracts are doing nothing but going up.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to bring unions into if that's the case.
You're gonna have to unionize them.
Yeah, you're gonna have to unionize and bargaining and pay bargaining fees and all that shit.
And see, in NCAA PA, yeah, that's coming. And the big thing is that wait until they start bushwhacking sports out there. Some of these people are not going to be happy about when they're kids that run cross country, when they're kids that play hockey. If you're a non-revenue producing sport, the athletic department's going to just drop you, and look at how many opportunities that's taken away from kids. And the last thing is that now they have Division III and Division II kids trying to challenge the NCAA ruling because Pavia opened the floodgates.
And don't forget JUCO.
Yeah,
JUCO eligibility is not counting towards eligibility either.
And D2 and D3 are probably going to follow suit because there's going to be some judge that doesn't understand what they're doing. And it's going to mess up college sports big time. And the transfer portal thing, because that kid's in Miami working out, that's also another huge problem that nobody's really addressing or wants to address.
What kid?
The kid from Wisconsin that in Wisconsin broke NCAA rules to my understanding.
Yeah, I know. I remember what you're talking. Yeah, I remember we talked about that.
This is allegedly broke NCAA rules, so we don't get sued, but allegedly because they didn't put him in the portal when he asked.
Yeah.
Because he signed a 2-year rev share deal. Okay, that's fine. Has he received any money? Is rev share even passed? It's just unbelievable. Eamon, Oregon kids flying to Rutgers on a Tuesday for a track meet isn't cheap either. Not to mention all the non-monetary costs these students are going to class, especially non-revenue sports kids. I agree with you, but if you look at it from a business perspective, during COVID, Ohio State had to take out a loan with the university.
Yeah, I remember.
The athletic department had to take out a loan to float it, and then they ran $37 million in the red this year. And not to mention, they added 4 schools without renegotiating the TV deal, so that money is going to get cut. And then on top of that $37 million they ran in the red, you have to find $22 million to $25 million somewhere in the university. You got to find it somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you understand numbers and spreadsheets just like everybody else. You got to find where they're going to get that money. And Ohio State's the most valuable college football program in all of the land. And you mean to tell me that they ran in the red? Well, I mean, I get it. They have more sports than everybody else. But even if you cut out the co-ed sports, what is that going to save you? $1.5 million at best?
Right.
Or even if you say $5 million and you cut 8 sports, now you have issues with the vacant buildings, the indoor facilities.
Yeah. And what are you going to turn those into? Dorms, housing, more apartments that Ohio State needs.
Long-term investment, I'm not worried. Before too long, you're only going to have some schools are just going to have football.
Football and basketball. That's it.
I don't even think you'll have basketball at some schools.
You don't think they'll have?
Not every men's basketball program makes money. Do you think St. Bonaventure's is going to offer sports? Nope.
No.
That's 500 less kids, and then all the kids that aren't even on scholarship, because like golf scholarships and baseball scholarships, they can break those up into quarters. So you're losing money there. And then that's one thing why I think JUCO might make a comeback, because if they offer full scholarships and it don't count against their eligibility. If I was a baseball kid, I heard Chase Parham talk about this on Carter says higher education needs revamped anyways. College is a joke. Says the guy with probably 2 degrees, but I understand where he's coming from. But I'm just saying that whenever you start cutting these programs, and then you want to add something, and then 1 year, let's say tennis doesn't make any money. Okay, we get rid of men's and women's tennis, And then we ain't even got into Title IX yet because the rev share's got to be equal.
It's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly and messy. Messy, Duke.
Because even in high school sports, they got to spend dollar for dollar on boys and girls sports, and they got to be equal.
Eamon says they need to just make college football its own thing.
That's why I think the Michigan stuff will be null and void. That's what I think, because I think the Big 12, ACC, Big 10, and the SEC are all the Big Four conferences are going to break off.
Yeah, and they are going to break off. They're going to form the super conference and call it a day.
And the reason why I say they're going to break off is because they extended the media rights deal, the ACC did, to keep Florida State and Clemson happy.
Right.
Because ESPN extends media rights deal through 2036, includes promise that Notre Dame will play 2 games per year against
Clemson, Florida State, and the Canes
in Miami. So I don't know where the bottom falls out on this, because Notre Dame is now tied to the ACC, and Notre Dame gets a vote. They get a chip in a chair just like everybody else, all the big conferences. But
Eamon makes a good point too. It's gonna sooner or later it's gonna be the SEC and Big Ten. It's gonna be like the AFC and the NFC, Duke.
I mean, the NFL's playoff model isn't that bad, but
no,
I don't think that.
Go ahead.
I just don't think it's feasible, because you have too much. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State will have to stay together legally. They have to stay pretty much on the same plane. I think that once you get some of the details ironed out, could the Big 12 make a resurgence? Yeah, but the problem is you're seeing it in college basketball. I want to see the Gators play Wisconsin in the snow in November. I don't know if Luke Fickell wants to see that. You've seen what Alabama did to him at home. It's not a big. I don't think that having 2 conferences is the winner on this. I think you got to take all 4 of them. Even though the ACC is a lower conference, I get it, but you got to keep the ACC. You got to keep the ACC and Big 12, because out of 134 programs, who wants to just see 18 of them? So, but I think that's a good start-stop point for us on this conversation. And I've been talking about this for how long? I was talking
Dude,
you've
been talking about like was it last spring you were talking about it?
Yep.
Damn, that's how fast the year went.
And I was talking about it last spring. Nobody wanted to listen. And when it comes, when the rev share doesn't show up, I'm telling you, you're going to have a lot of kids in the transfer portal because they were promised money that universities don't have.
Don't have it.
Now, some of them that have big money boosters like Michigan, they'll be able to kick in and say, hey, we don't have our rev share. Can you cover this until we can get it? I think Oregon will be able to do that. And I think the way Ohio State is doing it, it's one of those things that I think they'll be able to. Ohio State will be able to tread water, since they got rid of Gene Smith retired, but I think it was for the betterment of everybody.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's where we're at, and you need to look at those basketball revenue numbers. Like, I seen some revenue numbers that they posted posted and talked about for Ole Miss. Ole Miss made their women's, and I'm not degrading women's basketball, but their expenses were like $5 million. They brought in $800,000 in revenue. Ole Miss's baseball program made $1 million. But you gotta find that happy medium, but a lot of the SEC schools only have 16 sports. I think the majority of them do. Life is like toilet paper. Yeah, that's a true statement, but I mean that's where we're at, Rich. I ain't got nothing else. You got anything?
I got nothing else. I'm curious to see see if we have any more footage from the Senior Bowl tomorrow to see what what the seniors are looking like for Saturday's game. I'll be watching that.
Yeah, I'd be interested. I haven't seen is Quinn Ewers there working out?
I don't think I saw him.
Huh. Interesting. But yeah, with
West Virginia, Mountain Mama.
Yeah, so with that being said, I don't have anything else. Me and Rich are pretty much folded up shop, but do us a big favor. Check out the out pouches. And
hey, Gigolo Joe, thanks for showing up the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, you just have to go back and rewatch it, man. Oh, that's cool, Eamon.
Tell her I said hi. My little one's usually down here with me.
So yeah, but yeah, check out the link and hit the like button, like Joe says, and hit the like and subscribe to help us grow this thing because we are on the road to 1,000. That is where we're trying to get to.
Hey Joe, do us a favor and get some out pouches.
Yep. So, with that being said, everybody have a good night.
Have a great night, everybody. Happy Friday Eve.